It happens in an instant. 1 minute, someone is there, the next minute, they're gone. No explanation, no trace. It's a terrifying thought. It's the ultimate mystery. We've all heard the stories. People vanish without a trace. It's the kind of stuff that keeps you up at night. You wonder how it's possible. You wonder what happened. You wonder if it could happen to you. This is the story of Sarah. She was driving home from a business trip. It was late. She was tired. She stopped at a gas station off a deserted highway. That was the last time anyone saw her. Sarah was a creature of habit. She liked routine. Every morning she would wake up at the same time, brew her favorite coffee, and sit by the window watching the world come to life. Her days were meticulously planned, each task following the other like clockwork. This sense of predictability gave her comfort, a feeling of control in an otherwise chaotic world. She liked knowing what to expect. Surprises were not her thing. They unsettled her, threw her off balance. Sarah thrived on the familiar, the known. It was her way of keeping anxiety at bay. Her friends often teased her about her predictable nature, but she didn't mind. To her it was a small price to pay for peace of mind. So, when she drove home from her business trips, she always took the same route. It was a path she knew like the back of her hand, every twist and turn etched in her memory. The familiarity of the route was like a comforting blanket, wrapping her in a sense of security. She could drive it with her eyes closed, though she never would, of course. It was a long drive. But Sarah didn't mind. The solitude of the open road was a welcome respite from the hustle and bustle of her daily life. It was her time to unwind, to let her thoughts wander. The rhythmic hum of the tires on the asphalt was almost meditative, lulling her into a state of calm. She liked being on the open road. There was something liberating about it, a sense of freedom that she rarely felt in her structured life. The vast expanse of the highway stretching out before her, the endless possibilities it represented, it was exhilarating. It was her escape, her little adventure. This trip was no different. She had packed her bags with the same meticulous care, ensuring she had everything she needed. Her itinerary was planned down to the last detail, leaving nothing to chance. It was how she operated, how she ensured everything went smoothly. Sarah had been gone for 3 days. 3 days of meetings, presentations, and networking. It was exhausting, but she enjoyed her work. It gave her a sense of purpose, a feeling of accomplishment. But now, she was ready to go home to the comfort of her own space. She was eager to get home to her husband and 2 dogs. They were her world, her anchor. The thought of their excited faces waiting for her brought a smile to her lips. She could already picture her dogs wagging their tails, her husband greeting her with a warm hug. It was these moments that made the long drives worth it. She got in her car and started the engine. The familiar hum of the motor was comforting. It was a sound she associated with home, with the journey back to her loved ones. She adjusted her seat, checked her mirrors, and took a deep breath. She was ready for the drive ahead. The familiar hum of the motor was comforting. It was like a steady heartbeat, a constant in the ever-changing landscape of her life. She turned on the headlights, illuminating the dark road ahead. The dashboard lights glowed softly, casting a warm, reassuring light in the car's interior. The highway was dark and deserted. It was late and most people were already home, tucked into their beds. But Sarah didn't mind. She liked the quiet, the solitude. It was her time to reflect, to process the events of the past few days. The empty road stretched out before her, a blank canvas waiting to be filled with her thoughts. The only sound was the wind whistling past Sarah's car. It was a soothing sound, a gentle reminder of the world outside. She rolled down the window slightly, letting the cool night air fill the car. It was refreshing, invigorating. It helped her stay alert, focused on the road ahead. She turned on the radio, but there was nothing but static. She fiddled with the dial, trying to find a station, but it was no use. The area was too remote, too far from any signal. She sighed and turned it off. It was just as well. She didn't need the distraction. Sarah didn't mind the silence. It gave her time to think, to mull over the events of the past few days, to plan for the days ahead. It was a rare opportunity for introspection, a chance to connect with her inner self. She cherished these moments, these pockets of solitude in her otherwise busy life. It gave her time to think, to dream, to imagine. The road ahead was a metaphor for her life, full of possibilities, of unknowns. And as she drove through the night, Sarah felt a sense of peace, of contentment. She was exactly where she needed to be. Sarah's phone buzzed. She glanced down, momentarily distracted from the road ahead. The screen lit up with a familiar name and she felt a sense of relief wash over her. It was a text from her sister Jessica. "Almost home," it read. Sarah smiled, her heart warming at the thought of seeing her sister soon. They had always been close, sharing secrets and supporting each other through thick and thin. Jessica always knew when to check in on her. "Almost," Sarah typed back. "Just stopped for gas." She hit send and placed the phone back in the cup holder, her mind drifting to the cozy evening that awaited her. Sarah pulled into the gas station. It was brightly lit, casting an almost surreal glow on the surroundings. But it was deserted, the emptiness amplifying the isolation she felt in that moment. The only other car was a beat-up pickup truck parked at the far end of the lot. It looked like it hadn't moved in years, adding to the eerie atmosphere. Sarah turned off the engine and got out of her car. The cold air hit her immediately, a stark contrast to the warmth inside the vehicle. She took a deep breath, her breath visible in the chilly night air. The air was cold and damp, a typical night for this time of year. She could feel the moisture in the air clinging to her skin, making her shiver involuntarily. Sarah shivered and pulled her jacket tighter around her. She wished she had brought a warmer coat, but it was too late for regrets now. She just needed to fill up the tank and get back on the road. She could hear the faint hum of the gas station's fluorescent lights. The sound was almost hypnotic, a constant background noise that seemed to fill the silence. It was an eerie sound, one that made the hairs on the back of her neck stand up. She couldn't shake the feeling that she was being watched, even though she knew it was just her imagination. She hurried to finish filling up the tank, eager to get back on the road and leave the unsettling gas station behind. The next morning, Jessica woke up to a strange feeling. She couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. She tried calling Sarah, but it went straight to voicemail. Jessica tried texting her, but there was no reply. Jessica called Sarah's husband. He hadn't heard from Sarah either. He was starting to worry. He called the police and reported Sarah missing. The police told him they would look into it. Hours later, the police called back. They had found Sarah's car. It was still at the gas station. The keys were in the ignition. Her purse and phone were inside. But Sarah was gone. The police reviewed the gas station's security footage. They were hoping to find some clues about Sarah's disappearance. The footage showed Sarah pulling into the station at 11:47 p.m. Her car, a dark sedan, was clearly visible as it approached the gas pumps. She got out of her car and walked into the store. She appeared calm and collected, as if she was just making a routine stop. But that was where the footage ended. Abruptly, the screen went to static, leaving the police with more questions than answers. The camera covering the inside of the store was malfunctioning. It had been experiencing issues for weeks, according to the store manager. There was no footage of Sarah inside the store. The screen displayed a "no signal" message, indicating a complete loss of video feed. There was no footage of her leaving. The cameras outside the store showed no sign of her exiting the building. It was like she had vanished into thin air. The parking lot remained eerily empty, with no trace of Sarah or any other activity. The police questioned the gas station attendant. He was the only person on duty that night and might have seen something. He said he hadn't seen Sarah. He seemed genuinely puzzled and concerned about the situation. He said he had been in the back room stocking shelves. He had been busy with inventory and hadn't noticed anything unusual. He said he hadn't seen anyone else come or go. The gas station was typically quiet at that hour, with few customers stopping by. The police were left with a mystery. They began to map out the area, considering all possible routes Sarah could have taken if she had left the store unnoticed. Missing person posters were distributed, and the community was alerted. Everyone was on high alert, hoping for any information that could lead to Sarah's whereabouts. Search teams scoured the nearby areas, using flashlights to comb through the darkness. Every nook and cranny was checked, but there was no sign of Sarah. Family and friends held a vigil, lighting candles and sharing memories of Sarah. The community came together, united in their hope for her safe return. The police chief held a press conference, urging anyone with information to come forward. The case had become a top priority, and every lead was being followed. Detectives reviewed case files meticulously, looking for any overlooked details. They were determined to find out what happened to Sarah. The gas station's isolated location made the case even more perplexing. It was a quiet spot, far from the hustle and bustle of the city. The late hour added to the mystery. Few people were out and about, making it harder to find witnesses. Police patrols increased in the area, with officers keeping a close watch for any suspicious activity. The search for Sarah continued, with everyone hoping for a breakthrough. Section 6. Whispers and Theories. News of Sarah's disappearance spread quickly. The small town was abuzz with rumors. Some people said Sarah had run off with another man, others said she had been abducted by aliens. Still others said she had simply gotten lost. The police investigated every lead, they searched the surrounding woods. They interviewed Sarah's friends and family, they even brought in a psychic, but they found nothing. Weeks turned into months, the leads dried up, the case went cold. Sarah's disappearance became another unsolved mystery. Section 7. Dead ends. The police had no new leads. The gas station attendant had been cleared of any involvement. The footage from the malfunctioning camera yielded nothing. Sarah's family was left with more questions than answers. The mystery of Sarah's disappearance haunted the town. People whispered about it in hushed tones. They avoided the gas station at night. They were afraid of what might be lurking in the shadows. Section 8. The unanswered question. How could someone just vanish? It defied logic, it defied explanation, but it happened. It happened to Sarah. And it could happen again. The thought was unsettling. It was a reminder that there are things in this world that we don't understand, things that we may never understand. Section 9. What happened to Sarah? Did she leave on her own accord? Was she taken against her will? The truth remained elusive. It was a mystery that might never be solved. The vanishing of Sarah became a chilling reminder of the unknown that surrounds us. It was a reminder that sometimes people just disappear, and we are left to wonder why.